Do you want to know how to fight against the wicked world rulers? I'll tell you. By putting on the full armor of the Most High. So I remember when I was a Christian, and while in the church, I was led to believe that I needed to put on the armor of God daily. So I tried it once. I acted it out. I put on the breastplate of righteousness, put on the helmet of salvation. I acted out the whole thing. And I thought, this can't be it. And I never did that again. Now I understand what putting on the whole armor actually is. And we don't have to guess. We let Scripture define Scripture. So let's break it down. We'll go to Ephesians chapter 6. Put on the complete armor of Elohim for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil. Because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against the world rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual matters of wickedness in the heavenlies. Because of this, take up the complete armor of Elohim, so that you have power to withstand in the wicked day, and having done all, to stand. Now let's look at the armor. Stand then, having girded your waist with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness. Okay, we're going to stop right here. Having girded your waist with truth. John chapter 17 says this, set them apart in your truth. Your word is truth. So his word, his Torah, and our Messiah, because our Messiah is the spoken word. Then we go over to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 5, and see this. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and trustworthiness the girdle of his waist. Then we come over to Psalms chapter 119 to see the definition of righteousness. My tongue sings of your word, for all your commands are righteousness. Which leads us to the breastplate of righteousness. Put on the breastplate of righteousness. And in this next scripture, I'm going to show you it includes the helmet of deliverance. So I just skipped down to this. Take also the helmet of deliverance. And then we'll go back up in a minute. So we see those two pieces of armor mentioned in Isaiah 59. And he put on righteousness as a breastplate and a helmet of deliverance on his head. So it's pretty clear so far that the armor is righteousness. Now let's look at this in 1 John chapter 3. Little children, let no one lead you astray. The one doing righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. So what's the opposite of doing righteousness? Doing lawlessness. Here's the biblical definition of sin. Everyone doing sin also does lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness. So not keeping the Father's laws, his instructions, his Torah, that is sin, and that is the opposite of righteousness. So if you are living a lawless lifestyle, you don't have any armor. You don't have the Father's armor. Now let's look at the next piece of armor. And having fitted your feet with the preparation of the good news of peace. So where do we find that piece of armor? It's in Isaiah 52:7. How pleasant upon the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news, who proclaims peace, who brings good news, who proclaims deliverance, who says to Zion, your Elohim reigns. So what is the good news according to prophecy in Isaiah? Let's just read a little bit. Therefore my people shall know my name in that day, for I am the one who is speaking. See, it is I. The voice of your watchmen, they shall lift up their voices together, they shout for joy, because eye to eye they see the return of the Most High to Zion. Break forth into joy, sing together, you waste places of Jerusalem, which that's a people, that's his people. For the Most High shall comfort his people. He shall redeem Jerusalem. So he's going to redeem his people. He's going to buy them back, which is what Messiah did. He bought us back with his own blood. So the good news is our redemption. The good news is our deliverance. The good news is that our Elohim reigns. Okay, next piece of our armor. Above all, having taken up the shield of belief, with which you shall have power to quench all the burning arrows of the wicked one. So, belief in what? Belief in the Most High, belief that He sent His Son, belief in the whole word of the Most High. And real belief has works. True belief has fruit. And that fruit is obedience. James chapter 2, verse 19. You believe that Elohim is one? You do well. The demons also believe and shudder. So, believing that the sovereign is one, believing there is an Elohim, that's fine. That's doing well. But if you just stop there, just believing, even the demons do that, right? You have to go beyond that. But do you wish to know, O foolish man, that the belief without the works is dead? So just mentally believing something isn't enough. We'll skip down to 24. You see then that a man is declared right by works and not by belief alone. It takes both. Verse 26, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so also the belief is dead without the works. All right, 2 pieces of armor left. And the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Elohim. So you've got to have this. This word is your sword. This sword is powerful. Hebrews 4:12, for the word of Elohim is living and working and sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting through even to the dividing of being and spirit, and of joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. Wow. All right, and the last piece of armor, and some people may not consider this part of the armor, but to me it is the 7th piece. Praying at all times with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, watching in all perseverance and supplication for all the set apart ones. That is so important that we all pray for one another daily. And you don't have to try to remember everyone's names. You can just pray for your brothers and your sisters, for the set apart ones, for Israel. I hope this study has been helpful, and I hope you put on righteousness by obeying the word of our Father, the instructions, the Torah. Love you all. One last witness to the fact that we must have our belief in Messiah and guard the commandments of the Most High. This is in Revelations 14. Here is the endurance of the set-apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Elohim and the belief of Messiah.